What's cracking, folks? As you can see, this is Teddy Graham here. Um, I'm just coming off that win against Christian Molina. Very, very, very tough battle. Very, very good opponent, man. Much, much respect. And oh, you can see I'm here in my bed. Yeah, comfy as fuck right here. Got all these extra pillows, nice ass blanket, and all this. Living like a king off that parents' money. But anyways, man, I'm making this video here for you today. Because I was thinking about what I've been doing, in all my battles. I choked against James, and now it's been 4 straight without choking. I still do slur my speech a little bit, but that's a little different. But anyways, I came here today, and this is your official rookie training video for No Excuses. So I would key that corny 80s music right now, but we'll see about that in the video. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to give advice to some of these rookies, because I know people like Obama, Lyrical, J-Days, they came in here, their first battle, and, they forgot their material, they choked, their freestyles were all awkward and shit, and it was just really bad really bad rookie performances. And, I know we got a few more rookies that want to come in here, Christian, the third Christian and No Excuses, the third Christian and No Excuses. I know you want to start joining our battles. Claire Scott, yeah, I'm looking at you. I know you want to join our battles too. And Jamie R. Griggs, I know we've been rough on you with the dates, but this November 17th one will be solid. I promise you that one. So anyways, I know a lot of you guys are looking at trying to join the league, come in, and you see people, it's their first battle, they get nervous and they fuck it up. So I'm here to give y'all some advice on how to make your first battle go successful, and how to not pull what I did and get embarrassed and fucking choke and shit in my first battle. So rule number 1 right quick for me is the alcohol. Well, let's just say this, I don't know who's old enough to drink, so undisclosed rappers were drunk their first performances, and yeah, it fucked them up. Now I understand why you drink before a battle. You're nervous and all that, and it kills your nerve. I get that, but oof, man, rough food last night. Anyways, I understand why you would do that. It's a very nerve-wracking scene. You're in front of a crowd that's not feeling you. It's your first time spitting stuff against somebody. You wrote it hard. Your friends look over it. You don't know what you want to do. You don't want to fuck up and all this. Problem is, though, is when you get drunk, it dumbs down your brain too much, and yeah, then you forget your material and you end up choking. Weed is something I'm not qualified to really talk about because I haven't smoked since 2009. Yeah, another story for another day. But one thing I do know about weed is that it's a lot tough to do in moderation than alcohol. It's really tough to just kind of get a little bit high. From what I've seen, I used to smoke it back in the day, crossfade all the time. It'd be like, oh, nothing, oh shit, I'm high. So my advice to that is just don't do it. But again, if you regularly smoke weed before, any other performances, before plays or fucking sport games or whatever, and it's a normal ritual for you and it does not affect your performance, then go ahead and keep it the same way. Alcohol, what I'm going to say though, my hands down stone cold rule is, you see me, I bring flasks out to events, I bring bottles out there, I have 2 shots, max, and I cut myself off. I have 2 shots max before the battle, to kill the nerves a little bit, because a lot of y'all didn't know this, but yeah, Teddy Graham suffers from anxiety, pretty bad generalized anxiety, but hey. So basically what I'm saying is I am a beast. I am not ever nervous about the battle when I go to a battle, so I know that's on another level and y'all can't really relate to that. But, like I said, I do got regular anxiety about other things, so, I do 2 shots to kill the nerves a little bit, and then that way I'm focused on the battle. But I do know that if I drink the whole thing, I'm going to get drunk and get stupid, and my delivery is going to be sloppy. I'm going to forget my bars. It's going to be horrible. I'm also lactose intolerant, so I was slurring a lot against my battle with Austin because I was drinking Bailey's as a lactose intolerant person, and it dehydrated my tongue and made it harder to do that. So point blank period, to summarize the lesson on this, rule number 1, alcohol. Do not get drunk. Okay? If you want to have a beer, if you're a girl, or you're small and you're 120 pounds, you get 1 beer. That's it. 1 beer, 1 shot, that's it. No more. Me, I'm a fucking 225-pound man. I can have 2 beers, max. I could maybe work 3. But I'm not going to risk it. I want to come out there, I want to perform good, and I want everybody and no excuses to perform good. I want you to come out your first battle, even if you don't win, I want you to perform well. That way, when you go on the video, rather than face palming and looking at, God damn it, look how fucking stupid I looked, you can look at that and be like, wow, I came out there, at least I remembered my material, I know I'm comfortable with that, Then you can do what I do in all my battles. Look at your film, study it, see what you did wrong, see what you did right, stay consistent with what you did right, and, fix the material that was whack. Rule number 2 for me is do not rely on your notes. I did this in my battle against James too. The real full story with what happened with James is that I had, it was my first battle. Again, I didn't know what to do. It's my first time battling. I came in there, with my pen game, trying to attack all angles. Anyways, what happened with that is the day before I ended up reading my material and finding out that all 3 of my original rounds turned out to be 9.5 minutes long. And we had minute 30 rounds. So you do the math of that, and I was a whole 5 minutes over on my round time. Yeah, whoops. So 3 in the morning the night before, I basically had to take my original first and second round and cut those into 3. So I did this the night before, and then I wrote them out on paper, and I tried to practice them over and over and over again. Next day, looked at the paper, practice. So 2 things happened in the battle. Where I choked in the battle, technically I wouldn't call it a real choke, because when you choke you get nervous, or you completely forget your bars or whatever, or what happened with those is I played like I practiced. The exact points at which I forgot my bars and stumbled and choked in the battle were the exact points that I stumbled and choked in practice. Okay, so I didn't practice enough. I didn't give myself enough time to practice. Yeah, I spent all those months writing all that ridiculous amount of material, so I didn't sleep on them, but I didn't practice properly because I didn't know what I was doing. The second thing that happened too is I brought my paper with me to the battle. So I read it before the battle. I'm like, alright, I'm good, right? And then I choked on it. Now, what y'all might not know about me is I'm a psych major. But I'm not very good at holding the camera properly. So I learned in psych, your brain, neuroscience actually, your brain builds pathways, and the neurons connect to each other as you mature and learn and stuff like that, and what's it called? Impulse, the pulse, whatever, man, the fucking wave of electricity fires through your nerves, and through your neurons and synapses and all that, and then it goes back to whatever, like moving this hand right here, hand sends an impulse to the brain, and the brain sends it back. Well, that's for pain. I'm sorry. If something bit my hand, it would send that brain impulse to my brain. The brain would send the impulse down to my hand, and So constantly using the hands is what gives boxers that lightning fast speed. So my point in all this, explaining the background and all that, is that if you, let's say you finish your bars and you force yourself to memorize it without the paper, it'll strengthen that brain connection. It'll make that brain connection stronger and faster every time you do it. So where if you use paper, it'll also strengthen that brain condition. Because, if you look up the Pavlov dog experiment, Jesus Christ, if you look up the Pavlov dog experiment, what that'll do is that talks about classical conditioning, And what he did in that experiment is he took, meat powder. He rang a bell and then gave the dogs the meat powder. And they salivate before they're going to get the meat powder. So he did that over and over. And then what he did is he started just ringing the bell. And then the dogs' mouths started watering because they were expecting the meat powder. So what happens when you read your paper to memorize your lyrics or bring it with you on your phone or something is that your brain is conditioned that when you forget to look to the paper. So what happens, sadly, is this Pavlov dog experiment plays out in the battle. You forget your lines 20 seconds in, and the first thing you want to do is look at your paper. It's just classical conditioning. Oh, wait a minute, it's not there for you. Now this is where you have to create the brain pathway to re-find your train of thought. And that takes about 30 seconds. In a battle, you have 60 seconds to rap. Oh, and you've already spent 40. Yeah, oops. But where if you force yourself to memorize it purely with your head, bam, it'll reinforce that brain pathway, and, it'll come faster, and that way when you forget in a battle, all you're doing is re-going down the pathway again. So even if you do stumble, since you forced yourself to find it in your brain every time you stumbled, now your stumble's going to be 5 seconds long versus 30 seconds long. Okay? So if you understand what I'm saying, like I said, look up the Pavlov dog experiment and that'll tell you what I'm talking about right now. Alright. So rule number 2 is don't rely on your notes. My ritual, every battle, actually against the U, I accidentally forgot my notepad at home. I'm pretty sure is what happened. So from then on, my ritual was, that battle I didn't choke, I didn't stumble one time against the U. So my ritual, I did it against Christian the other day, I did it against Austin, I did it against Obama. My ritual is I leave my notepad and my fucking, rhyme book at home. Securely at home. Nowhere else. It doesn't come with me. All I have, on my way to the battle is the only thing I'm gonna have in the ring. My own fucking brain. My bars, my balls, and my fucking voice. That's all I get. And that's all you get in the ring. So yeah, don't rely on your notes, and don't do alcohol. Don't get drunk or high. That's my second advice. My third advice to you for the time being is this one is going to be very, very difficult for you guys. I'm trying to think of other examples if I can do this, but growing up, going through junior high, high school, college, I've always been a good test taker. And one of the reasons I've always been a good test taker, is again, like I said earlier, I don't get nervous when pressure's on, it just doesn't bother me. I'm just comfortable under pressure. It's where I want to be. It's exciting. It's thrilling. It's even a little bit arousing. But, that was part of it. But the other part of it is for me, this is a secret. This is the Teddy Graham secret I'm giving y'all, is the purge. And what this is once you've made that brain pathway, the thing is if you continuously keep doing it, rather than establishing a secure brain pathway, what you're doing is you're constantly tweaking. You're constantly thinking, should I say his lyrics are whack, or should I say his lyrics are crap? Which one should I say? You're constantly tweaking it. So what happens is, what the purge is for about an hour or two before your battle, do not think about your material. Think about any other things you can think of. If you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, or main bitch, or a boy toy or whatever, go fucking have sex with them or hang out with them or do something else. Go watch a movie, play a fucking video game, play some cards, go drink, get drunk. No, I'm kidding. Don't fucking get drunk. I'm serious about that. Go do something else. Anything else but think about your fucking lyrics. Purge it. Okay? Y'all want to know how many times I rehearsed my stuff for Christian the day of? Y'all really want to know? 2 times. I woke up at about, what was that? Not 3. I woke up at 11 a.m. that day. 11 fucking a.m. 6 hours before the battle. Okay. I rehearsed it one time driving to Jamba Juice to get my breakfast. And I rehearsed it, and the second time going to fucking Illusions to buy that flask. That is it. That was a fucking close-up of my mouth, huh? That was stupid looking. But anyways, that's my point. I only rehearsed 2 times that day. Okay? Because the reason is if you do not purge and you keep just thinking of it, you never actually memorize. It's always going to be a work in progress. So that's the thing. So it's not going to come out as smooth as you want it to. Now I had some, don't get me wrong, I had some unclean parts in that battle against Chris. You know, there's at least 5 or 6 parts in that video where, you know, not, goddamn it, I'm getting sick. I might as well use this now. Hold up. Yeah, fuck you, Khalid. You got me sick. Yeah, make sure you purge your material. Like I said, write it, memorize it, and I did this every time before college and high school. I just study. Actually, I'm lying to you. I never studied a fucking single test in my life in high school. But you know, college, I'd study, and then for the last hour, play fucking computer game. Go on Facebook, talk to my roommates, you know, get drunk. No, don't get drunk. You know, but I'm just saying, you know, do something else, anything else that'll relax you, and, you know, it'll keep your mind off it. That way, that pathway, when you come back to it, it'll run smooth through the first time. Where if you, again, you keep on tweaking it or whatever, it'll create more stress. That's a scientific fact. You can look it up. I don't know where, you know, I saw it on the Facebook Fun Facts page. So, yeah, I might be looking like a dumbass right now, but I'm saying you look that up. There's scientific evidence. The more you think about something, you micromanage it too much. You know, as long as you've got the general point across, you know, like in the Christian when I said, you know, you're not the tough type with the tough life. Meant to be the tough type with the rough life. Okay? But really, did that make that big of a difference? No, not really. You know what I'm saying? Had I not purged, I would have fucked that shit up horribly. Because I would have made myself too nervous. So, that's it. Rule number 3 for me, the secret to all of this is to purge your material. So, you know, so far I've got the overview, is if number 1, I know the rule number 1 is not get drunk, but I put it there because that's the most important. Because if you fucking, you know, if you memorize your material perfectly, with, you know, without using your notes, and if you purge it perfectly and you relax, you will fuck up everything you've done if you get drunk. You'll fucking pull an Obama, you'll pull an undisclosed rappers, you know, and yeah, you'll fuck up. So yeah, anyways, yeah, if you do that, it'll all get fucked up if you get high or you get drunk. So the process right here is this, you know, write your bars ASAP, you know. In fact, that's probably an optional, you know, number 4 on there. You know, I know you said sometimes, you know, you've only got a week to prepare, whatever. So number 1, you know, write your material as soon as possible, but, you know, again, you know, you want to make sure it's good too, you know, so at least try and leave yourself, you know, a good 2-3 days to memorize. But with the you know, the I wrote all my material in 2 days. I had a total of 4 days to prepare, and I took the next 2 days to memorize it. I would have, now with where I'm at now, I would have used the last day to memorize it simply because I would have used, you know, the third day to improve. But, you know, again, at the time I choked, and I knew the last thing I could afford during the was to choke. If I choked 2 battles in a row, that would have been basically my rap career. You know, I would have had to battle Mark V, you know, or something like that to be able to come back from that. Alright, so you see, I keep fucking around and getting distracted. So, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna quit fucking around and give it to you. So, number 1, write your material as soon as possible. Memorize it. Once you've got it memorized, you know, and you've used your notes at least to know all the words, keep doing it through, you know, with your head, not with your notes. You know, 100%, just memorize it. Number 3, Once you've got it down and it's the day of, about an hour before the battle, just purge. You know, I know it's going to be tough because you're going to be at the battle watching other battles, but that's the point. You know, go to the other battles, you know, talk to your homies, relax with your homies, you know, focus on the other battles, laugh, and then when you get called up, now you can start thinking about your first round again. And then again, you know, while your opponent's going, you know, you can do what I do and try and, you know, predict their lines. You know, I'm not as good at that as I need to be. You know, a lot of my predictions, I'll admit, are fake predictions, and I'm not faking them on purpose. It's just, you know, out of reflex, I try to predict as fast as I can. I got a few clean ones on Christian, but yeah, you know, some of them were not very good, and I need to clean that up. But you know, anyways, you know, while your opponent's battling, then you can think of your second and all that. But yeah, make sure you purge. That way, I'm telling you, try this, just whatever, you know, just do it, you know, write whatever is just write a 16 right now. You know, keep going it again until you can get, you know, 10 times in a row memorized, and then, or, you know, 10 times, you know, 90%, and then, you know, go off and fucking, you know, play Grand Theft Auto and beat up some hookers or some shit, and then, you know, come back an hour later and just spit the 16, and then you'll be like, whoa, how did I remember that so good? I haven't practiced it in hours. It's because it comes out one time, you're relaxed, do it. So that's it. Write your bars, memorize your bars, purge, you know, distract yourself, think of something else, and do not get drunk. Don't get drunk or high. And that's it. You know, so that's my advice. This is your unofficial, very fucking sloppy, unprofessional, you know, no excuses training video. And like I said, this is Teddygram, man. So do it. Hope to see you guys out there, and I want to see good performances for everybody so I can body bag you later. Not really though. Peace.